ask our senatorial candidate, Sir Mark, is this gonna affect the elections in any way? Baka mag-drop out na rin si Bato. Daming pwede mag-drop out dito. Like, are you...
Officially, wala siya sa warrant.
Wala sa warrant si
Si
Bato.
Bato, si Digong lang.
Tuloy pa rin.
Yung,
Pero nasan
o
ba
nga
si
pala,
Bato? Ba't nawawala?
Exactly.
nga pala, may kopya na si Justice Carpio, may kopya na ako
nasan
ng
si Bato?
warrant. Ang nakalagay doon ay, ito ay first chamber ng ICC yung nagdesisyon. Tatlo sila na nagdesisyon. Dalawa yatang babae at isang lalaki. Pero nakalagay dun sa warrant, the international warrant, dun sa desisyon, ay si Digong lang. Pwedeng may lumabas pang isa. Pero for now, si Digong lang ang nakalagay.
Yun nga bakit kaya nauna si... Yun din yung surprise sa akin, Justice, na nauna si Digong kaysa kay Bato.
Actually, hindi siya surprising. Dahil yung tradisyon ng ICC, konti lang yung kakasuhan, yung principal lang.
Yung principal lang.
Marami na yung tatlo. Dahil nga, kung marami, tatagal yung kaso. No? So, ito ay bahagi pa rin ng
kasi
tradisyon
yung
ng
Israel
ICC.
kasama yung defense minister, right?
Yeah.
I know the Putin one kasama din some of the top officials and oligarchs
Alam
around
naman
him.
nila, hindi na mahuli
Narishkin. Yung Taliban, mukhang tatlong Ninja Turtles din yung ano dyan. So I was expecting may tatlong Ninja Turtles din sila kanina.
May second batch pa siguro.
May second batch pa. Kaya yan si Bata. Baka may chance ka pa.
Hindi, sa akin, yung effect din ito sa impeachment Kasi it's one thing
Yun ang mas malaking epekto.
Mas malaking effect
Dahil may message yan sa mga senador na nagbabakasyon.
Parang argument ni Haydar
dahil
yan
sa recess, mga senador na ang pagkiling ay iabsuelto si Sara, medyo aapektuhan sila. Dahil hindi naman pwedeng i-separate ni Sara yung sarili niya sa kanyang tatay.
Tsaka yung mga...
Practically, creation siya ng kanyang tatay. No? So, hindi siya pwedeng dumistansya doon sa damage sa kanyang tatay. No? Kaya, tatamaan din yan yung kanyang mga supporter at indirectly or directly yung mga senador na ayaw pang mag-convene as a trial.
And yung takot sa mga Duterte, I think yun ang mababawasan It's one thing kung kalaban mo, pero kung alisin mo yung si Digong out of the picture, what will happen doon sa buong kampo ng mga Duterte? Kumbaga yung dating takot ka, mas mababawasan ng konti yung takot mo kasi you don't have to think about the old man.
At tataas yung takot mo kay BBM. Because now, BBM is saying, actually, you're underestimating me.
can do it.
I went for rendition. I'm gonna do things to you if you don't follow me.
Sinasabi mo rendition? Sinasabi mo rendition?
Sorry.
Wala kinalaman.
Andyan na pala yung BBM vlogger. Magpapabay na tayo. Andyan na po yung outside the box, I think. Outside the box. Yeah,
at huwag niyo kalimutan, si Sara ay kasama sa testimony ni Las Cañas.
Yun.
Na main witness sa ICC. So merong ganong klaseng chilling effect. Ito nangyari.
Yes.
Yeah, the other thing there is their bailiwick is really Davao City.
Yeah.
And he's the candidate for mayor. Pag hindi siya nanalo, they lose their bailiwick.
What will happen if he wins? Tapos nandoon siya. Paano nga bang...
Pero hindi siya
he stays there. Then it's the vice who will take
so
over.
Baste suddenly will be in a...
Kung manalo si Baste, he will
Kung
take
manalo
over.
si Baste.
So hindi yung kalaban niya.
So suddenly the vice mayor...
Pero yung kalaban ni Baste malakas
Yun nga rin inside ko. So how is the race going there?
So mas critical ngayon yung vice mayor race sa
Actually,
Davao.
Suddenly,
pwedeng tamaan din yung local Pwedeng meron din itong adverse effect kay Pulong, kay Baste, at saka kay Omar, yung apo. No? Kaya hindi natin pwedeng i-underestimate. No? Dahil ito kasi, yung dating nasa level ng propaganda na crimes against humanity, ngayon medyo malapit-lapit na sa judgment. No? Medyo konkreto na. Ikalawa, yung sinasabi na pro-China, doon kagad tumakbo sa China. Pwedeng i-spin din yan. At tapos yung disgrace ni Digong, parang yung pagiging the Punisher, invincible Punisher, medyo nawala. No? Parang nagmukha siyang barangay tanod. No? Dahil nga, yun yung disgrace ni Kibuloy. One of the most powerful person in the Philippines, biglang nakaposas, tapos na may mugshot. Ngayon, wala nang natatakot kay Kibuloy. Diba? Nakakulong na siya.
Tsaka walang bumuboto kay Kibuloy. Parang tatalunin mo pa si Kibuloy.
Ay, ako, pupusta ako ron.
Tabla na
Pupusta ako ron, no?
Dapat lang guys.
Man,
Baka
Kibuloy.
naman.
Kibuloy.
27.
Kasi pwede ka na magbukas after this. Ang sarili mong ano.
Pupusta ako ron. No?
RJ, alam mo na. Ayan na,
sa
sige
mga
po.
hindi familiar sa mga kaso sa ICC before, how long does it take yung buong trial? Usually,
Pag yung ganyang level.
Relax ka lang, Sir Ronald.
Based on sa mga nangyari before.
Tunay.
Okay, ito na.
Tunay, hindi yung
Tapos
fake.
na yung outside the box rendition. Justice Carvin, okay, so let's say he will be flown to Den Haag mamaya. What happens next based on precedence?
Well, the trial will start soon after, no?
Right.
And they're quite very efficient there. They're very efficient.
The Dutch, I mean the ICC. Yeah.
Yeah, the ICC. Tsaka handa na sila, matagal na. They've been getting the testimonies of all the
Yes.
witnesses.
Yes.
Handa na sila. They have Bato there, Mascareñas.
Right, yeah.
And siguro sila Digong, yung all the team niya will have a reunion there.
So the whole infrastructure is like, I mean, of course, let's not forget, big deal yan sa ICC because walang napuntahan yung Putin case. Good luck kay Netanyahu. Trump is gonna defend it. Good luck finding those Ninja Turtles in the cave, right? Ito, baka this could be the highest profile case ever of ICC. No offense to the African warlords or the Milosevic of this world, right? If you are ICC, this is your golden case, right?
And this will prove to the Africans that they're not the only ones
Being targeted,
Being
yeah.
targeted, no?
Yeah.
Asia also is covered, and of course, Putin. White people are also
Oh,
covered.
Afghanistan is Asia. Afghanistan is
Yeah.
Asia.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't.
but
need
they
to-
have not. They have not taken custody of the accused in Afghanistan. Ito, hawak na nila.
Yun nga. So
I mean,
this is their golden case, right? Yeah.
We're not yet sure na aabot sila sa dahag.
Mga ilang...
What do you mean?
What
What do you mean? Natakot ako.
Would this take years? O baka a few months lang? Anong mga usually ba?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are the timelines we're looking at,
timelines.
Justice?
Well,
I know, ingat ka na biglang dahil sa nangyari sa atin.
Iba yan eh.
well, but this
Scenarios.
one will be
Scenarios.
yeah, because all the evidence are in already. Matagal na.
Yeah.
So
Planchado.
I would it will not last longer than
Year.
2 to 3 years.
Oh, right. And then, like, if ever...
Merong ang dalawa, di mo napanood yun? Dalawang akusado, nag-suicide.
Oo.
Oh,
Sa Den
yeah,
Haag.
yeah,
Yung
exactly.
isa, dramatic.
We don't want that to happen.
During the trial.
Sarah, you're just to be clear, we're not endorsing that.
Wala.
As we're not encouraging
Kwento
it.
lang.
Wala.
Tsaka nakabantay.
Sinasabi ko lang na may dramang nangyari dyan sa trial.
Parang
sa
Epstein
ICC.
yan, ah. Parang Epstein. So, Justice Carby,
Parang sino ba yun sa Nuremberg? Yung nag-suicide,
yung nag-cyanide,
Dalawang Nazi rin nag-suicide.
yung number 2
Wala akong sinasabing Nazi si Digong. Sinasabi ko lang, doon sa Nuremberg.
May cyanide.
May dalawa yung head ng Air Force.
Right.
Wow,
I know what
yun.
you're saying.
Na-
Justice Carby, going back to this, mamaya na si Sir Ronald, what are we looking at in terms of, first of all, yung drama kasi ng mga Duterte is, matandaan na siya, kawawa naman siya, we have to check her, baka magana naman, yung Zoraika ba yan, yung nagdrama-drama, hindi matay. Just to reassure people, Netherlands has like a first world welfare system, right? They're gonna take care of Digong to make sure he's
they
alive
have
and
the
well.
best doctors there. Yeah.
Okay, so and then if this is gonna go into trial and all, what is the next step? Digong has to choose his own defense, or they will give him a defense team. Are we looking at the trial in the next 3 months to 6 months starting? Yung first time na makita natin sa TV, ito na si Digong, and then what are we looking at in terms of time frames?
Well, I think the trial should start within 3 months.
Within 3 months. So right after elections, baka mag-start na itong trial.
And of course, Digong will choose his own counsel because he can very well afford.
Yes. Na hindi Harry Roque, na hindi Panelo. I mean,
Well, there's only one person from the Philippines who is registered as.
oh wow. Then that's Harry Roque.
That's Harry Roque.
Oh wow. So he will have his moment. and then but
Or kukuha siya ng international na counsel kaya? Or
yeah,
malabo?
yung parang English, di ba mga UK firms, mga ganun
Yeah,
usually kinukuha,
maybe,
di ba?
but
Chinese. Ano ba?
Hindi tutulong yan. Ibang ops,
Bakit sa
ibang
office?
ops yan, bro. Marami kang Chinese defending him. Ano. Do you think like in theory China could have done something to protect him since hindi ako binigyan ng visa ng China, titirahin ko na sila ng big time ngayon. Like you think China would have advised him not to go back to Philippines if he was already there? I mean,
well, I don't know if China will give him that advice, but I'm sure that if he decided to stay in China, he would be accommodated by China.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Kaya nga si Ronald was thinking talaga mag-exile yan eh. That he brought in yung Intel chief niya was
well,
there.
if he knew that
Ito mangyari, rendition.
this will happen to him, he would not come here.
Yes.
So in fairness,
I agree
Chinese
with
spies were not able to know that, right? That was a secret plan. I mean, this is a high-level secret
yeah,
that.
plan.
Sabi nga ni Justice, out of the box.
This is out of the box. Nobody ever thought of this.
Baka ang iniisip
Noriega.
nila, iniisip nila,
Wow.
may mga legal remedies,
Yeah.
may mga uprisings, mobilizations, here and there.
Yeah, I was thinking this will last several
Months.
even years in the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Pero kung nagstay siya doon sa Hong Kong, sa China, hindi din siya makukuha, di ba? Hindi din siya Interpol.
They will not honor the ICC arrest order.
Protect him.
no?
Yun nga yung sisang protection. So he had protection eh. So bakit pa siya umuwi? That means
Sinong nag-advise
masyado
sa kanya
siyang
umuwi?
Dapat
kampante.
pinadala niya na lang yung Colombo niya sa...
sa Hong Kong.
Bumalik pa siya para...
Yeah, actually, oo.
Yeah.
Pero marami rin mabibili ron eh.
Nakulambo.
Yung Colombo. Shopping nga, di ba? Galing sa Guangdong lang yan. Sa Shenzhen lang yan, di ba? Malapit lang
Hindi,
Shenzhen.
pero usually kasi parang kanyan eh, parang kumot. Yung security blanket.
security blanket
yung may amoy
niya.
mo na, yung amoy mo na eh. Halo na yung laway.
Parang
saka bawis.
pwede.
Diba?
Parang
pag
pwede
ibang-
title
pag
ng
ibang-
novel, no?
pag
Tapos
ibang
it's about
Kulambo,
Duterte.
Pag
no?
ibang Kulambo, iba na eh. No? Parang hindi mo
It's
feel
not the
eh.
same laway.
Hindi mo feel eh.
Sana
diba?
dali naman nila yun sa...
Parang ako, may stuffed toy ako na slot. No? Yun, hindi na pwedeng iba ron kahit brand new.
You know, many
Hindi naman ano yan.
many were saying that as long as the ICC would issue the arrest order, they would be happy already.
Yes.
They didn't expect that
Pero
Duterte
mabilis.
would go there. No, would
Na
be
hindi
brought
symbolic
there.
lang, oo.
That Duterte would probably flee to China, but he would
Yeah.
never be taken custody of by the ICC. But this is something really unusual, no?
And this sends a signal to the future presidents na this could happen to you. Like, you know, there'll be outside the box ways to get you that... Kasi, di ba, as we speak, yung South Korea, the drama continues, di ba? Si Kim Jong-un, ang tawag ko sa kanya, si President Yoon is still, you know, putting on the show of force, yung sa bahay na nahirapan I mean, this is South Korea, di ba?
Yes,
We're talking
pero
about.
kumpara naman dito, wala naman siyang pinapatay na more than 35,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If in a first world rule of law country na hindi sobrang mamamatay tao, yung kausap, nakakapag-resist pa siya ng, I mean, for people who bother to follow what's happening in Korea, if you're Duterte, look at it, this is fourth world country, I can do whatever I want, I'm so scary, blah, blah, blah. And yet, ginanon lang siya, clean.
Yan yung problema pag naniwala ka sa sarili mong legend, sa sarili mong propaganda. Yun yung first rule ng politics, no?
Na fake news ka sa sarili mong fake
Sa mga sarili
news.
mong trolls.
Tsaka, wala na, yung isang pinakamahalagang element sa politika, circumspection,
Yeah.
nawawala na.
Right.
At tingin ko, yun yung isang bahagi nito, maliban sa Kulambo.
Yung Colombo talagang napapaisip talaga ako, magre-research ako mamaya.
That's another thing there. So how will this affect the behavior of the vice president?
Yes. That's the next question, yeah.
Yeah, because she could be in the next batch.
Yes.
And will she step up? Kasi ang tanong kanina sa akin parati is, so who is now like the prince or heir apparent? Is it Bongo? Is Bongo gonna risk his number
Nope.
2 and 3?
Nope.
Is Bato even in a position to do that?
Could be, pero hindi siya yung
Yun
ganun
nga
eh.
Is Sarah gonna finally step
Mas-
up considering how
Sarah
vulnerable
talaga.
she is?
Masya pa. Dahil nothing to lose eh. No? May impeachment siya, may mga criminal cases, no? Pwede pa siya masama sa second or third batch sa ICC.
Right.
Kung ako siya, go for broke.
Go
Dahil
for
wala nang
broke,
mawawala
yeah.
sa
Walang
iyo
mawawala, no?
Hindi ka naman pwede maghintay sa isang corner. Hintayin mo na lang yung kaso, yung impeachment, at saka yung ICC.
Yeah.
No?
She has two options, di ba?
Right.
Go for broke or flee
Oh, wow.
Pwede
to
yung
China.
no?
Which is also
Oo
broke.
nga, no?
Which is also broke. Basically, she'll
That's,
be impeached.
that's political annihilation. no?
That's harikiri. Either political harikiri or just assassination. Like civil war. Civil war. No?
Yeah.
Wow, these are crazy times. Speaking of crazy times,
Nagulat ka ba?
hindi. Natutuwa lang ako.
Kala ko nagulat ka.
Medyo matagal ko na sinusulat tong script na to. So now it's parang na chat GPT na siya bigla. Parang chat GPT, write me my script now when this is gonna happen. No, but now of course, Justice Carvey, I want to ask you and Ronald. Mamaya ka na Ronald kasi alam ko anong sasabihin mo eh. Start with you, Mark. Anong sasabihin dapat ngayon ng mga pinks? mga ibang leaders. Kasi Akbayan, nag-release ng statement kanina, si Percy Sendanya, this is about justice, and of course, Chel Jokno. Pero yung mga ibang kaibigan natin na pink, hindi
Baka
na
kailangan
nakamayan.
na nilang i-review yung kanilang statement. Na this is not a people's issue. Kailangan nila i-review yan.
Yung mga political issue to.
Na hindi naman to dito people's issue. No? Ito ay issue lamang ng mga politiko.
Ayun.
So Mark,
Sino ba may sabi nun?
Mark, ignore. Meron kaming Christmas party na hindi ka imbitado. This time hindi ka imbitado. Ayoko masira yung invitation sa akin.
Hindi,
Go ahead,
ako,
Mark.
ako nakikita ko din naman. I speak about it sa vlog ko din. Kahit yung sa kakampigs, may parang nabubuong faction na medyo would choose Duterte over the Marcoses. O sana naman itong nangyari dito, they could makita naman nila yung isipin naman nila yung nangyari dun sa mga kasama nila, sa mga pinakulong nung panahon ni Duterte, pinagtangkaan yung buhay, yung paninira na ginawa sa kanila, sa legacy nila ni Noy and all that. So sana naman mag-circumspect din sila or tingnan din nilang hindi porket maganda sa social media, hindi kumbaga nakukuha mo yung mga DDS on your side, doon ka na kakampi o doon ka na kumbaga samahan naman nila yung mga kasama nila. Samahan nila yung mga who are at the front lines battling this fight against the Dutertes.
Pero dapat hindi na sila independent. Dapat opposition na talaga sila. Yung
Parang isa
opposition?
lang yung tinatamaan mo dyan.
Yung opposition kasi parang dadali na sa Den Haag So talagang kunin
Ayaw nga pala. So may opening na.
May
Wala
opening
na
na.
pang opposition kasi
Opposition.
makukulong na.
Ikaw ba independent ka rin?
Third force.
Isa ka pa. Ano, Mark, stance mo? Support ICC extraordinary rendition. Outside the box. Den Haag
Hindi ako
option.
gusto lang din sabihin ako masayang-masaya ako today, sabihin ko lang.
Parang hindi obvious.
Above everything else, yung kay Sani Trillanes. Kasi nakasama ko siya for the last year. Nag-iikot kami ng Caloocan. And nakita ko din kung how much this means to him.
It means a lot.
It means a lot. 8 years.
Bugbog siya ng isang taon.
Gulping-gulpi siya
Gulping
More than
siya.
anyone else
Nadamay
sa
pa
issue
kami.
ng ICC. 8 years,
Tama.
talagang ginapang nila,
Right.
kasama yung Magdalo, yung mga niya doon. Hindi nga, dahil nga nakasama ko sa Caloocan, pati yung mga Magdalo na nakasama niyang pumunta sa Hague
Right.
and all.
So tingin mo makakatulong ito sa kanyang kampanya sa Caloocan?
Hindi ko alam
Unless mag-rendition din siya sa kalaban niya. I mean, he has two options. I-coup niya kung natalo siya or i-rendition niya.
Yes,
Di ba?
agree ako kay
Oo.
Mark.
Pero it
Put
would show
credit
na-
where credit is due.
Yeah, in fairness kay
medyo
Sunny.
mahalaga yung role dito ni Sunny Trillanes.
Oh.
Pero sa akin kasi, isa pang mas mahalaga are the families of the victims of the ABK.
Exactly.
This is not a battle between Marcos and Duterte. This is a battle between the families of the victims in their thousands. No?
Right.
Ngayon, nagmimisa sila sa Payatas. No? Nagmimisa sila ngayon doon para to celebrate itong ganitong klaseng nangyari. Pero wala pa yung katarungan no?
Yeah.
So dapat yung iba pang kakutsaba ni
Right.
Digong dito sa napakalaking krimen na ito, crimes against humanity ayon sa ICC, ay maparusahan din. Maparusahan din.
Sir Ronald, do you think this time na ICC na silang lahat? Si Bato, even Sara, di ba? She oversaw Tokang operation. Why not? Yun na,
malawak.
ICC na lahat.
Nakita ko yung
Para
kulungan
doon
sa Den Haag, maluwag. Then mababa,
Exactly.
mababa yung crime rate So
Oo.
pwede silang pumunta ron. Ang problema, parang mga condominium masyado
Oo.
silang komportable. Kaya
They
sana,
don't deserve.
dito na lang sa Bilibid.
Oo.
Mas poetic yung justice dito kaysa sa Den Haag
Actually-
Halimbawa ako, pag nagugutom ako, doon na lang ako sa Den Haag sa kulungan. No,
Actually-
at least doon merong TV,
Oo nga
may aircon,
May human rights.
meron kang may garden, no? Marami
Correct.
naman.
Para
May
alam mo yun.
May library.
Sino bang binibisita? Para alam niya.
May library.
Ito 3x4 dito. Yung CR niya. Ganyan.
Hindi, yung daughter ko kasi. Yung daughter ko nandun no?
Okay. Akala ko.
Nabasa ko din
Akala ko may kliyente.
Maganda, no?
Buti pa si Digong, he will be afforded due process doon.
Oo, kesa
That's
dito sa
true.
mga
That's the
namatay.
ultimate irony.
Kesa dito sa mga namatay or yung sinabi ni Bato na shit happens, mga mahigit pa yun na 160 na collateral, mga bata, mga lola, lolo,
Yeah.
sanggol, no? Yun yung shit happens. Yun yun.
By the way, that 160 is until 2018 and 19. So we really don't know the full number of children and minors killed. Could be 1,000, could be at least a few hundred.
Tapos yung iba pa nagsuporta.
Yeah.
Dito, halimbawa si Justice Aguirre.
Kala ko Justice Scarpio.
Bakit ko yun? Si DOJ Secretary na talagang pinigilan yung mga kaso laban dito. No?
Nasa
Yung
naman?
Secretary of Foreign Affairs na nagsalita sa United Nations supporting itong tokhang na ito.
Pogi.
Until 2021. Ngayon, senador na siya. Bakit dapat wag makalimutan yung mga
Hindi sila,
yan.
makawala lang, ano.
Dapat wag makalimutan yung mga yan. Hindi lang itong mga directly involved, kundi
Right.
kahit yung indirectly involved.
Tapos wala na si Digong to defend them.
At saka mahalaga to,
Mabigat nun.
Mark, no? Dahil ito, anong klaseng lipunan tayo? Kung
Right.
hindi natin bibigyan ng hustisya ito. Mas marami pang pinatay dito kaya sa Gaza. Di ba? Anong klaseng bansa tayo kung walang katarungan itong libo-libong mga pamilya, nitong libo-libong biktima, no? At sabi nga ng Quadcom ay involved mismo sa drugs, yung nag-implement nito, involved mismo sa pogo, involved mismo sa corruption, etc. So, anong klaseng lipunan tayo? Kung at the very least, itong nangyaring ito ay hindi natin bibigyan ng resolution.
And anong klase kang opposition or independent, I don't know, nasasabihin mo, I'm for human rights and reform and all, or the rule of law.
do you want
And
to
then
go
hindi
there?
tayo klaro. No, let's
Do you
go.
want
no.
to go there?
Yeah, let's go there.
Oh.
Let's go there. No, honestly, ako...
Kanina pa ako nandun eh.
Hindi, kasi... I think the coffee took effect na. No, let's go. Hindi, ako kasi... klaro yung akbayang position nila. I'm sure sila Franz Castro lahat, klaro sila on this.
So, sino yung pinapatama mo? Bagitin mo na.
How will this affect the senatorial elections?
Yung alin?
Senatorial elections. How will this affect the senatorial elections?
Could it bring down Bongo's numbers a bit?
Yung karamihan sa kandidato ng Duterte, talagang malayo eh. No? Dalawa lang yung
Hopeless
posible.
case.
Bongo and Bato
Dalawa
lang.
lang yung posible. Si Bongo at saka si Bato. Ako, sinabi ko na last year na hindi mananalo si Bato. I-reaffirm ko yan ngayon. Si Bongo, ay tingin ko magbabago sa ranking. No? Lalo na nandun siya sa Hong Kong, no? Pwede siyang tirahin diyan, no? Pero tatamaan din diyan yung isang kandidato ng gobyerno na supporter ng mga Duterte, si Amy.
Okay, akala ko.
Na tatamaan din siya diyan, no? Tatamaan din siya diyan. Kaya ayan. Pero baka kinakailangan yung mga kandidato ng gobyerno na hindi nagsasalita tungkol dito ay magsalita na during the campaign. No? Dahil medyo weird na yung mga kandidato nila ay tahimik.
Yeah.
Magiging company issue
Patuloy
na
na si
ito.
Amy kaya magsasalita, Richard.
Magiging company issue
Ito na yung campaign issue, yeah.
Yes.
Will the Villar's, magsasalita kaya yung mga Villar? Tungkol dyan.
For now, supportive.
Thank you lang.
Supporter sila ni Sara, lalo na si Cynthia. Di ba? Kaya, yun, may epekto rin sa eleksyon. No? Dahil may 2 buwan pa eh. Mahigit 2 buwan pa. So, pwedeng i-pump prime yan as an election
At
issue.
saka if Duterte goes to The Hague, that will be in the papers every day.
Yeah.
Yes. Tapos kung isasabay pa yung impeachment,
Oh.
alam mo, pag impeachment, lahat ng Pilipino nagiging abogado eh. No, parang
Parang yung Quadcom.
parang nung kay Corona, nung kay ERAP, no, lahat pinag-uusapan yung impeachment, no?
No, so we're going towards the end of our discussion right now. Justice Carpio, I want to start with you again. So, first of all, as of this this is the journalist in me. As of this recording, Justice Carpio, what is your legal assessment of the situation that is happening? Are you worried that this might set actually dangerous precedents? And again, legally speaking, can later on, during the trial itself, the Duterte camp come in and question even the procedures by which she was brought there? I mean, what are the legal remedies here? What are the legal precedents or legal implications of how this is being handled as of this speaking? Let's just call it outside the box approach of the administration.
Well, I'll start with the whether they can question the handover of the president to the ICC by the Philippine government. No, Well, I don't think that that will matter to the ICC because it's the government handing over. It's an act of the government, and they will not question the act of the government. And for them, how the accused was taken and brought to them will not really matter as long as the accused is in their custody. Because for the trial to proceed, the accused must be in their custody. If the accused is not in their custody, the trial cannot proceed.
Right.
That's why I was saying.
So yun lang pake nila, parang downstream issue na yan,
Yeah.
basta upstream lang, ito lang issue
Yeah.
namin. Once he's here, okay.
Once he's here, we will
Interesting.
deal with him. So, so they cannot really raise that question that he was brought there against Philippine constitutional law or whatever, no? So that's one. Second, in terms of historical significance, there was a resolution of the Supreme Court, I was still there,
Right.
saying that based on government official records, there were already in 2019 30,000 people killed in the drug war.
Right.
And that statement was taken from an official publication of the PNP that was published in the website
Yung
of
deaths
the,
under investigation?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
yes, 30,000.
Yes.
That's under investigation, everything already.
Right.
So actually, there's an official admission by the Duterte government because it was during the Duterte administration that they published this in the website of the Office of the President. This was an official report of PNP. 30,000 were killed. So I think...
And I want to add, what about the Duterte statements during the Senate hearing last year that we discussed, and you said he implicated himself, right?
Yeah.
And also the Quadcom. Do you think those added also to the substance and the gravity of this issue?
Yeah. Of course, all of those statements of Duterte are admissible in evidence.
Yeah.
Televised or his statements before the Quadcom or the Senate hearing, that can be taken against him. Any of his interviews where he said, kill, 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 that can be taken against him.
Yes.
That's an admission
Exactly,
against
yeah.
interest. So, but I'm trying to put this in
Yun nga eh.
perspective that at least 30,000 people were killed.
Right. Kaya nga Gaza eh. Gaza is 40,000.
even worse than Gaza.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So-
that was a massive bombing.
Yes,
This
yes.
one, ano lang, baril-baril lang. Pitik-pitik
Kita
lang.
mo talaga, whole neighborhoods na
Grabe.
disappear.
Yeah,
Diba?
exactly.
So this is something that a lesson to everybody. You cannot get away with this. So I'm happy.
But what about the other side of the argument? Sorry, Justice, if I keep on interrupting you. Because what about the other side of the argument that this is a bit too outside the box, that it might encourage or rather extra constitutional adventurism by this administration or succeeding administration? What
Well,
about that aspect?
No, this has happened in other cases like Noriega in Panama. It was
Could you remind our audience who are not familiar with
Noriega was
the dictator of Panama?
the dictator who was in cahoots with drug lords,
Right.
In selling drugs to the U.S.
Sounds familiar.
He was he was picked up by the U.S. Forces and brought to Florida to face charges, and the U.S. court said we don't mind how he was brought here.
Basta he's brought here.
He's here now with us. So, that's really the rule.
Yeah.
How you were brought to The Hague, how you were brought before an international tribunal, will not be inquired into anymore.
Yeah.
As long as you are there.
Again, in terms of timeline, kasi ang gulo natin mag-usap kanina is the coffee. In terms of timeline, what you're saying, Justice, is that within the next 3 months, if tuloy ito, Den Haag na siya and all of that, within the next 3 months, we might see him already in a trial, in I don't know,
Yes.
the proper robe and all of
Yeah,
that.
and I never expected that he will be tried. I thought that the most that can be done against him is there will be a warrant of arrest,
Symbolic.
but he will go to China or maybe
He was in China, but he came back.
yes,
Right? Yun nga eh, di ba?
yeah, he came back because he thought that the case will stay here.
Yeah.
He can drag the case here.
Oh, wow.
Nobody thought that he would be.
Yun ang problema.
And just to clarify this again, this is a big deal for ICC, right? Because they have warrant of arrest against Putin. Good luck with that. Putin went to Mongolia, another ICC compliant country, but they didn't comply. Putin has been going around the world. He's beshy with Trump. Speaking of Trump, he threatened ICC over Netanyahu, another person who faced. There are a couple of people probably in the cave right now, the Taliban leaders who also faced. None of those ones are going to prosper. I mean, it's just practically speaking. So this is the most high-profile case for ICC to begin with, right? So just to reassure our Kadidias followers, he will be taken care of, right? First world accommodation, first world healthcare, diba?
Well, he will have a TV so he can watch the TV shows here.
SMNI.
We'll have a cell phone. Pwede kaya siyang mag...
Yeah, like what are the amenities
Doon, pwede ba
exactly?
siyang
May aircon ba siya?
Can he
They have
need
a
the
heater.
opposition from
You need a
prison?
heater there. It's very cold.
It's actually very cold. Hindi yata sanay. So lahat yung mga AI-generated nakita natin na si Digong sa Bilibid, yung mga ganun na mukhang kawawa. Sorry guys, it's not gonna happen. It's gonna have a first world treatment. Speaking of Netherlands, when I was in Netherlands, they told me, the Dutch diplomat, they import prisoners from Norway. Because wala nang space in Norway. Because in Norway, the prisoners have like a loft house in the beach. Naubusan sila ng coastline. Pinapadala. That's how efficient the prison systems are in Netherlands. I was just shocked to see dinadaanan pala namin. These are, by the way, the prisons may imported kami prisoners. So I'm just giving people an idea of what's going on here. And lastly, Justice, before I go to our other two speakers for their final thoughts on this, I'm not sure Ronald will ever have a final thoughts, but going back to this, Justice Carpio, what do you think should other forces do? People like you who are reformists, right? You openly say, I'm for reform, I'm for the constitutional order, I want justice. Are you worried na this extraordinariness of the situation might embolden BBM? I know may BBM blogger tayo na friend dito na baka maging dictator daw. I mean, for the sake of argument. Or do you, and do you think, before I last Ronald, kasi alam ko sagot niya ulit.
Hindi. Sasabihin ko lang, yung sasabihin ni Justice Carpio, suportado ko 100%.
Oo nga pala, no? Yeah. 1 second. I'll have you like this.
Well,
Sabay tayo after go sa 4 p.m. yan.
the lesson here is if you do something like what Duterte did,
yeah.
when you leave office, people will go after you.
Yeah.
And this will apply also to BBM. That's why he has to be careful also. It applied to his father also.
Right,
Yeah.
So there will be a pushback when you
And
leave.
yung family Duterte will want revenge.
Yeah.
Meron pa rin
So
mga anak and mga apo si Duterte who would want talagang revenge mga
So they have to
Marcos.
go after, so red wedding na nila yan.
Oo.
I-red wedding mo na yan.
Yung away na is forever na.
Forever.
Well, this early nga, alam ko, may listahan na si Sara ng mga gagantihan. No? This early. No? Kaya,
Ito na. Closing statement mo na yan,
kaya,
Sir Ronald. Okay. Pangalanan natin.
dapat ingat
Hindi
si-
naman tayo kasama.
Kaya dapat ingat si Richard.
Hindi na kasama. I just said.
Dahil ako,
Hindi tayo kasama.
Dahil ako, wala ko sa listahan. Andun ako sa listahan ni Digong, kasama ko si Jollibee, tsaka si
Matrix.
Diaz. Oh, yung Matrix. No? Kasama ako ron. Pero dito kay Sara, hindi ako
Sara,
kasama. No?
Oh,
Si
wow.
Richard, sigurado ko.
Kasama.
Feeling ko nandun ka pulong list. Feeling ko yung pulong list yung mas nakakatakot.
Oo.
Sir Ronald, last point on this. First of all, to be honest, are you really surprised that Digong was foolish enough to come back and maisahan siya ng ganun? And more importantly, are you surprised by how smooth and seamless, and some would say sleazy, the BBM has been in handling this situation?
Well, yung logical nga, inuulit ko, is to stay sa Hong Kong, na autonomous region ng China, and wait out kung ano mangyayari. File all the cases. So kung bababa ka rito sa Pilipinas, medyo baka meron ka ng TRO sa Supreme Court na marami ka namang mga kaibigan, no? Pero hindi naman known si Digong for
Logic, that's my problem.
So, no, parang hindi siya masyadong pumasa ron nung siya ay nasa college, no? Kaya
Pumasa pala siya.
so mas hubris yung nag-dominate.
Yeah.
At saka siguro discomfort. Hindi biro yun, ha?
You're
Yung
right.
Colombo.
Sa age na yan, at that age, yeah.
May naghahanap ka at
The
that-
Colombo theory.
Kaya, yun. Alam ko, I'm 98% sure na may mga tumawag sa kanya ng mga forces yesterday night para sabihin, huwag ka muna bumalik. Huwag ka muna bumalik. Maghahanda muna kami ng maayos na reception. Maghahanda muna kami ng mas maraming tao.
Yeah.
Maghahanda muna kami ng ganitong klaseng political climate. No?
Yeah.
Pero hindi, dinisregard ni Digong yung bumalik siya, hindi handa yung kanyang mga supporters. No?
So bara-bara ulit. In the end, he's bara-bara style costume.
Hubris.
Yeah.
May sense of invincibility ka. May sense ka na, in spite ng lahat ng banat sa'yo, mas mataas pa rin yung approval rating mo kaysa sa presidente.
Yeah.
No? So, pumasok sa iyong ulo yung sarili mong legend at sarili mong propaganda.
And what about the opposition? Last point, I know that you didn't attack them enough.
Yes, sayang. Dahil
Yeah.
ang pwedeng mag-claim-making dito is the opposition, the real opposition. Dahil sila yung lumaban nung panahon ni Digong, no?
Yeah.
Hindi sila kasama sa unity team, no? Tapos
Yeah.
yung mga victims ng mga extrajudicial killings, sila yung tumulong, no? Kaya sayang na parang medyo lost yung malaking bahagi ng opposition, no? At this point. Sana makapag-scale up sila, no? Dahil meron din kasilang kandidato for the midterm.
Yeah.
Sana dalhin ito nung kanilang kandidato, no? Sana. Oo,
Sana
sabi nga sa kanta, no?
maulit-ulit.
Yan.
Ready?
Bam! Yun.
Oo,
Ikaw, Mark,
sana
ano?
maulit-ulit.
Ano yung
Ako,
mga-
yung final word ko, siguro...
As a
for the-
senatorial candidate,
for the
yeah.
kakampigs na lang din. For the kakampigs na lang din.
Ba't ka nakikisakay? Hindi ka naman pink. I'm just kidding.
Hindi,
Go, 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 go.
yung admin nakakausap ko na naman sila sa vlog ko eh. Pero for the kakampigs, hindi, there will be a big battle
Thank you,
after
boss.
this.
Yeah. Thank you so
Siyempre,
much.
Siyempre mabigat yung magiging laban, at least for the next
Right.
few months.
Grabe,
Siyempre hindi
yeah.
matutuwa sila Sara dito, yung mga Duterte dito, yung mga DDS. This will energize their base. So, one problem at a time. Sabi mo, what if Marcos grows into ganito-ganito? Let's solve this one problem at a time. Kasi itong problema ng mga Duterte, nandiyan pa, malaki pa. Malakas pa sila, marami pa sila. We would need every to finish this muna.
Yeah.
Tapusin muna ito. May problema pa eh. Nandyan pa si Sara. Sara is still popular. Meron pa rin silang strong base sa Mindanao. Kung idagdag mo pa, I don't know paano mag-react yung INC tungkol dito. Will there be an EDSA 4? Will there be? Hindi natin masabi. So, kailangan everyone counts. Kailangan magtulungan tayo. Let's finish this problem first. Tapusin muna natin. Panagutin yung kailangang managot. And after that, 2028, rambulan na. Kanya-kanyang kanya-kanyang, it will be more of a level playing field come 2028 na elections.
All right.
After
Thank you very much.
matapos to.
Thank you very much, Sir Ronald, for that fantastic intervention. Thank you so much, Justice Carpian. My apologies. We got that. You can turn on na your phone with the 200 interview requests. And good luck sa'yo, Mark Gamboa. I hope tuloy-tuloy ang laban mo. And hopefully marami ma-disqualify by the time na tarating.
Oo nga, no, ICC.
Mukhang maraming.
Marami arrest yung ICC.
See you later. Habol din ako ngayon sa TV5 on. Picture tayo. Wait.
Picture lang.
Mga group.